Thank you for episode 4, where we get to re-talk to Alexi and Steve about some of the improvements and changes that they've had. We had them on probably maybe 2 months ago, somewhere right around there, right around the launch of their token. So we're super excited to kind of see how that's kind of gone and see what's next in their future. So thank you guys, and Whale, man, take it from there, brother.
Hey guys, thank you for joining us. I'm super excited for the updates. And yeah, I think last time we talked was when you were about to launch Spark. And now we have FXRP as well, which has been super exciting. And I would like to know how has the launch of FXRP impacted SparkDEX?
Hey guys, thanks for having us back. Great to be here. Yeah, it's been a fantastic last couple of months, I'd say. I mean, so we've recently launched the token. Since we last spoke, FXRP is live now. Just checking out the current FXRP in circulation. We've got 58.11 million. It's around about 146.5 million in TVL on the Flare chain, which I think is absolutely incredible. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but outside of XRP chain, there's nowhere near that much XRP anywhere else. I think that's an incredible milestone. That's right. Yeah, so I mean, look, we've got quite a few new cool updates I think that we can cover. So recently we've relaunched our Perps, and within our collateral of baskets that you can use as collateral to trade against. We've got FXRP within that basket, which I think is fantastic. Obviously now we've got LPs, we've got farming rewards going out there for FXRP LPs as well. We've recently launched, and you'll see this update coming to our UI shortly, our own FTSO. So Steve's been working overtime with the devs, managed to get that live, and shortly we'll have that coming out onto the UI where people can delegate to our FSO. And Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you were saying it's already one of the top performing FTSOs, right?
Yeah, based on the primary and secondary percentage hits, we are on the top 5s at the moment.
Top 5, that's incredible. There we go. There's some great work from the dev team there. One of the things I'm super excited about outside of those as well is we'll have governance coming live fairly shortly. Not an exact date yet, but I'm hoping in the next couple of months they'll be live, and we're already piling up quite a few interesting governance votes that we want the community's input on. So yeah, super excited about those things, and there's a couple more we can jump into a bit later.
That is awesome. Yeah, congratulations. It seems like you guys been super busy. So I would like to know, like, from your expectations to reality since the launch of FXRP, what were you expecting? What have you seen? And now what do you expect moving forward?
Yeah, that's a great question. Look, I think what Flare's managed to achieve so far with almost 150 million in XRP CVL on chain, I think that's a great milestone. I would say that that's probably slightly better than what I was personally expecting, especially with the current market environment. With the recent liquidations, the wipe down was 20 billion with assets, over 1 million traders. I wouldn't say that's necessarily a favorable environment for Web3. And we're bouncing back very nicely from that. There's quite a bit of negative sentiment across the space. So with all that, I wasn't actually expecting 150 million so far. My rough estimate was around the 100 million number. So we've got essentially 50%, almost more than that, which I think is a great milestone. What I would like to see more, and we definitely are seeing it every day that goes past, more and more of a percentage of that FXRP is actually being utilized within the ecosystem, so within different DeFi applications. As an example for those out there, being deposited into lending markets, being deposited into LP pools on different dexes. Hopefully ours, but there's multiple dexes within the space. Being utilized within our perpetuals market. So every day that goes past, we're seeing a larger percentage of that FXRP actually being deployed and put to work, so to speak, which is great. I think with the upcoming launch of Firelight, I think we'll see that get supercharged. So far, I think the Flare team's doing a great job, and I'm honestly fairly impressed. Look, of course, I want to keep seeing that number go up. Right? I want more and more FXRP to be coming on chain. But I think so far, yeah, it's honestly beat my expectation, especially just in the current market environment.
Yeah, for sure. The timing, I mean, it launched and it was really good, and then the market took a dump, and that's always hard for everybody in Web3. How has your volume increased since the launch of FXRP? Have you noticed like a big increase in volume?
I wouldn't say that there's been a massive increase. And I think some of that comes back to, it just takes time to see more and more of that XRP be deployed into the different markets, but it definitely is increasing and it definitely is going in the right way. Steve, do you have any more to add to that?
Yes, let's speak about the volume increasement. As I'm tracking the volumes and the fee generation, I can say that since 2-3 weeks, the FXRP volumes are picking up. Before it was, I think, very hard to do the caps we had, but now with always caps open for minting and redeeming, we see much more arbitrage. So which needs to have volume on the chain. Otherwise, having in lending markets, FXRP is not generating much volume for the ecosystem itself. But now with the minting caps open, always a bit to mint, so we see arbitrage between minting and redeeming to normal XRPL. So with this, there's also much more volume coming now. So if you can check analytics, yes, you will see going to volumes. You will see that the volume is picking up the last weeks, so which is helping generally.
I think we're seeing now, especially this last week, a good amount of XRP being utilized within the lending market and people trading against that as a collateral base. And that volume is nicely moving up in the right direction, which is great to see.
For sure. Yeah, that has been great. And what about your Eternals perps? You relaunched, and like what are the improvements that you did? What are the new features? Can you tell us a little bit more about that, please?
First of all, it's that we had a known vulnerability, re-entrance vulnerability. We was happy that we had no, losses. We fixed this vulnerability, and on top of this, we added some gas improvements, which is normally not needed for Flare, but generally it's good to make some updates to the smart contracts. We used this bug fixing period also to introduce a fee rebate, not rebates, fee discount tiers. So actually, we have only enabled XSpark as fee discount tiers. So when you have staked, let's say, 1 million XRP, X Spark, you get also we can enable also later other tokens. If you're holding, let's say, Rob Flare over a certain amount in your wallet, you can get fee discounts. We improved the trailing stop, the FTSO utilization we improved as well, that we don't need to have so much delay between the request and the execution. Before it was around 4 blocks, now we reduced to 2 blocks, which means half the time for execution, and the UI gets also some updates on this, so we improved the charting mechanism of the perpetuals. Yeah, generally, the very nice perps relaunched and having a bit improved UI and also FXRP now as collateral. Plus, we started the trading competition, which is like volume based, but only when you don't got liquidated.
Very nice.
Yeah,
And
since last time with the perps as well, we've actually got a larger amount of TVL now, and generally doing more volume as well, which is great to see.
that's very nice. And then I know that you can deposit on the liquidity for the perpetuals. In a very basic sense, can you explain how that works and how do you make money on that or lose money?
Yeah. Each collateral asset is isolated in this market. So when somebody is profiting in Rob Flare or let's say FXRP, only this portion of the pool, let's say FXRP, is affected. You earn from actually Flare rewards on FXRP, and USDT0 is also rewarded with Spark emissions. Flare deposits earning from delegation rewards and Flare drop, simply like as Flare is also yielding itself. How you can earn is very simple, the fees. Each opening and closing position earns fees. Plus, if there's no counterparty in the pool, like when the pool is not balanced, open interest is not balanced between shorts and longs, the pool acts like the counterpart and earns based on this the margin fees, which is up to 60% percentage APR, which the borrowing part, so the trader needs to pay the liquidity pool to trade. On the overall run, yes, perpetuals, you are the bank, and we all know what the bank, what's happening with the bank. The bank wins. So sometimes maybe there's a drawdown in a pool against the traders when the traders are profitable for a short period. But in general, the LPs will earn from trader losses, from margin fees paid, so borrow fees and position fees. And when you scroll down in the statistics, you will see the P&L displaying. Yes, go down a bit. You will see that actually, even when we only live some days, we have already cumulative how much P&L negative closed positions. So that there will be always profitable trader and losing traders. Uh, so the counterparty risks of the LP is here. In this case, there will be much profitable trades, which is actually not working this way. Like full full going longs on this pool is not allowed. So the risk management of our system only allows a bit offset and open shorts and longs until a certain threshold that the pool is not too much in risk. But if the balance is given, automatically the limits are raised for opening shorts or longs. So it's a dynamic system. So with dynamic margin fees. So if you go to the trade interface, you will see how much a short or long position will pay or earn at this moment. So when you go there, this red and yellow, yes, actually you see the APRs for shorts and longs. So red means you pay when you're opening a long, and if you will short, you will get the money.
Very nice. And then if we go back to traditional LPs, would you care to share how do you manage concentrated liquidity? Because I've noticed that the difference between, I don't know, a 10% wide range and a 30% wide range is not as big as in other dexes. So I would like to know, how do you manage like the percentage of the pool, and how do you distribute the reward flare and the fees to people in LPs?
Yeah,
Let
sure.
yeah, Alex take you. Alexa take you.
Yeah. So essentially, at the moment, we've got two ways that you can manage your liquidity, your LPs, right? Now you can do it manually, where you pick specifically the ranges that you want to deposit in the liquidity onto the DEX. Now, most people, I think, are still relatively familiar with the the Uniswap V2 style of DEXs, where all liquidity is deployed at full range. With concentrated liquidity DEXs, you can pick tighter ranges where you place your liquidity, which means that any trading of an asset that's happening between those ranges, you're going to be generating a higher share of the overall fees, right? So the tighter you place any liquidity, you're going to take a bit more risk in either direction. Sometimes it can be a good thing, sometimes it can be a bad thing. There's impermanent loss or impermanent gain that can be made from the trading of assets and forth. So the tighter you place the liquidity in general, you will generate a larger sum of fees, but you may also then generate a larger percentage of impermanent gain or impermanent loss, which is the big scary one that most people don't like. So you can deploy your liquidity and manage it manually yourself, and specifically the ranges that you want. The other option is that can tend to be a little bit unfriendly to most retail people. Most retail people, as such, just want to set it and forget it, not have to come back every day, every week, etc., to manage the liquidity themselves. And most people aren't necessarily experts where they know how to manage an appropriate amount of risk as well, right? So we have partnered also with Steer and Itchi, and these are automated liquidity managers, which essentially means when you use Steer or Itchi, they manage the liquidity for you. They run a whole bunch of different algorithms. They've got bots working there in the background that you don't need to worry about. And these will place your liquidity within specific ranges and will manage all the rebalancing of that liquidity as well. So in general, how people will earn off placing liquidity is one, trading fees, and the tighter that you place any liquidity, the higher percentage of the trading fees you will earn. The second is we're also distributing farm rewards as well. So essentially incentives for you to come and bring liquidity and place it on SparkDEX. At the moment, how we're distributing those farming rewards is any range that you place your liquidity at, you will earn the same proportion of farming rewards. Now, keep in mind, this may change in the future where we will start to shift more towards range-based farming incentives, which means that the tighter you place your liquidity because you're taking a little bit more risk, we're going to give you a larger proportion of those farming rewards compared to those that have it at either full range or a much larger range where they're taking a little bit less risk, but earning essentially the same amount of farming rewards. So that is something that will change over time. For now, the tighter you place liquidity, the higher the share of the trading incentives you will earn, but essentially the same amount of farming rewards.
For sure. And then people keep asking me that, hey, but you deposit on the FXRP pool and then you have less FXRP. So how I understand liquidity pools, that this is not necessarily a way to accumulate more crypto. It's more a way of having some capital that is working for you. That's how I see it. So for me, it's like I have my FXRP that it's being held and it's not being risked in an LP, but I have capital in an LP that is giving me yield, and that's what I'm really looking for.
And that may work in both ways, right? I mean, you may place liquidity within a specific range. And look, if your overall goal is to accumulate more FXRP, then I would say placing that liquidity into a liquidity pool, depending, maybe if you've got the right strategy, it's a different story. But for the average person that doesn't necessarily, understand how to manage their position well, or doesn't have the time to do it, I would say that's not a correct strategy to do. Most likely they'll end up with less FXRP and maybe more USDT, especially if we're in a bull market, right, and the price of XRP is going up. Then yes, slowly your FXRP will more, as a percentage, will more accumulate, convert into Tether, right, USDT. In a downturn market, it may be a different story. Or if you've got some special trading strategies, different story. But in general, for the average retail person, don't look at liquidity provision within the DEX, right? As a way to accumulate more of an asset. It's essentially what you said. Sure, it's something that can maybe generate you a passive income, etc. Not necessarily a way to accumulate more of one asset compared to the other.
Yeah, that's how I treat liquidity pools. For me, it's like I have some capital and I know that capital is working for me. And then my strategy to accumulate more crypto, it's different than liquidity pools. But I mean, we can see the fees here. It's been really impressive lately. Do you know why we don't have any reward flare for this pool? Seems like there's much more trading actually happening on this one than on the FXRP
Which
pool.
one?
For the Raffler FXRP LP?
There are incentives. They are started.
Oh.
Now you go to view. I think the farm overview with the APR shows the highest APR pool. But if you go to view, you will see that another pool with the other fee tier will get half at the moment. I think there's one large deposit in a high fee tier which is earning more than half at the moment. So, go there. Go to view on the right side. You have, I think, view.
Oh, okay, copy.
Yes. And you will see that this one fee tier especially have half rewards.
Oh, okay. Nice. So yeah, this one doesn't have that much deposit, but it's the 1% fee. That's why it's giving so many fees.
Maybe he have very tight range setup, and this is why he earning so much fees. But as Alexi mentioned, having very tight range can lead to much higher implement loss. So
for sure. And yeah, we have to remember that this APRs is only for the last 24 hours, which is something that a lot of people do. Yeah. They see it, they deposit, and then the next day the fees are gone, and then they stick with the impermanent loss. So yeah, never never just trust this APR from one day. You have to look at it over some time and then decide if that's the right pool for you or not.
And especially not only APR, also the terminology of APY is very important. It's because a lot of DFs showing APR, and some showing APY, and there's a significant difference between them in the yielding. Yes, one is a compounded yield over 1 year, but we still don't know the calculation basis how much you need to compound to get this API. So we simply showing APR as the base yield, so which is very easy to calculate for you.
Right. So yesterday, a user was asking on the group chat that the swap fee is 0.1%, but the swap pool is 0.05. I don't know. I didn't really pay attention before, but can you explain where this extra percent comes from, please?
Yes, some time ago we started integrating OpenOcean, and OpenOcean generally charged 0.1% swap fee. Then we was able to ditch this from their side, but now we need to reintroduce the swap fees as the infrastructure costs are increasing with much more pools tracked. And also don't forget, when using the swap interface of SparkDEX, you're not only using SparkDEX pools, also Enosys and BlazeSwap. So we're giving you the best possible swap output, but this infrastructure costs money, and we need to share this expense with OpenOcean to even can provide the service. Otherwise, we can integrate a simple swap API, but this will not give you better results. So for getting better results in the swaps, we need to charge a small fee now.
I mean, it's
Our
still a
front end
pretty
is
small.
essentially an aggregator.
Right. It's still a pretty small fee. Like, I mean, it's cheaper than most exchanges. I feel like BitSo or Uphold, they charge like up of 1% for a swap. So it's still really good.
Well,
So-
Uniswap charges 0.25%, and they're not an aggregator as well, sourcing liquidity for multiple dexes, which we are doing. We're trying to do, to keep all costs the absolute minimal. Maybe that's not the best business strategy at the moment, but we're just trying to do the right thing by the community.
Yeah, so what you're telling me in basic terms, and again, I love how this rolled right into a question I wrote down earlier, which is when I go to SparkDEX and I create a swap, it's going to allow me to get the best rate. So I don't have to go and search for one between you guys and Enosys or BlazeSwap in here. It's going to use the OpenOcean aggregator, and if you guys are the best, it'll automatically use yours.
Correct.
And then if somewhere else is the best, even though there's a little bit of a fee, it's still going to be better than going to the other spot and doing it yourself because you get to save some time and energy.
The idea of an aggregator is not only using SparkDEX. Also, let's say the swap can be split into BlazeSwap, SparkDEX, and Enosys. So
Oh
20% goes to Blaze, 20% goes to Enosys, and 26% goes to SparkDEX. It's giving you the best possible result with your input. So that means the less price impact you get for your swap. But this service, all this tracking and all this databases, subgraphs cost us money. And every month this expense increase, and we are not at this phase anymore. And OpenOcean itself, when you go to the website, charges fully 0.1%, where we only charge for volatile pairs, and the stable pairs still have 0.01% swap fees, which is less still than OpenOcean. So but anyways, you will get more out than you will simply use normal swap APIs.
So this kind of comes into, like, again, correct me if I'm wrong, this means sometimes the swaps won't happen on your pools, so you're giving up some of that revenue to make it cheaper and more efficient.
Correct.
Nice. And so that kind of could show some, again, I don't know that Enosys is doing the same thing, but if they're not, then obviously swapping or using their pools, the fees are going to be a little better because they're not equally distributing the swaps. I haven't looked into theirs yet to understand their overall strategy on it, but that's the way I understand it, correct?
I don't know the swap fees on Enosys, but generally BlazeSwap and Enosys have higher LP fees. But anyways, we aggregating. If the code says Enosys, if FXRP WAP flare pool is better than SparkDEX, this swap is even splitted or routed fully through Enosys. So we're losing revenue, but even we don't care about this revenue at this point because the output is more important. The price impact needs to be as low as possible. And yeah, but we had this service running for some months, but now the expenses are very high, and somewhere the infrastructure and the salaries needs to be paid, and the 0.1 percentage really don't bring us so much money that you will think, but it's a start to get some revenue to pay the expenses and increase our service offerings.
And yeah, the overall goal essentially for SparkDEX is to be this one-stop DeFi hub that you can come to the SparkDEX ecosystem, right, our domain, and get the lowest priced products, and essentially not have to leave our services. So, the longer-term vision here is, we would get lending market, like, Connect lending market integrated into us. We'll have the FTSO services, right, that you can just come, use our front end. With the aggregator, we're swapping, for the best, most efficient swaps throughout the entire Flare ecosystem. Even if that means we lose a little bit of volume and a bit of revenue that way, no problem. We're trying to essentially build up our user base, provide them the best services, one-stop shop. They don't need to leave our domain. They can interact with all the best DeFi products on Flare through us.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I need to swap, I go to SparkDEX and I don't even think about it. Like the cost that the cost
man.
that, yeah, the cost that I pay for swapping, for me, it's just completely worth it because I know that I'm getting a better deal than pretty much anywhere else. So yeah, it's been a great experience for
And hopefully
me.
a better experience as well, right? That's the other key goal we're trying to achieve, is just make it as easy as possible, one click, break it down in an easy way for users to interact with, whether they're experienced, whether they're relatively new to the space as well.
For
Yeah,
sure.
I've always loved your guys' UI. You guys have a very beautiful, clean UI. It's not overly colorful. It's very basic, but very, very clean. Yeah, the UI for users is amazing.
Okay, so switching gears a little bit, you guys said something about Uniswap before. Do you have any updates on that?
Yeah, so it's not going to be a Uniswap v4. We use that terminology simply because it's the most understood throughout the space. So most likely we're going to partner with Algebra, license their tech, which is very similar to Uni v4 in the sense that it's a concentrated liquidity DEX, same as what we have deployed right now, but enables hook functionality. So where you can build out special plugins, special features. I'll give a couple of examples just for those that don't know. Maybe offer something where, depending on the amount of XSpark tokens that you're holding, you get a discount trading certain assets. Or maybe if you've got liquidity provided on SparkDEX, that out of range liquidity that isn't being put to work and isn't as capital efficient as it could be, maybe we take some of that and then on the back end it's being deposited into Kinetic's lending market, right? And you're earning another 6 or 10% APY through that. So that's what this V4 with the hook functionality will allow, different kind of products like that to be built out and allow a lot of different third parties to come and build those out as well. There's no update just yet when it comes to timeline on that. I'm going to assume that it will probably be Q1 and Q2 next year, though. Take that with a grain of salt.
Okay, so yeah, we're still some time off from that, but yeah, I feel like being able to deposit LPs into as collateral, that would be super exciting and make your capital much more efficient. So that's very nice.
It's one of the things, I'm most excited about. Yeah, being able to use LPs as collateral, in lending markets, things like that. I think is fantastic, and it really provides that next level of capital efficiency. Some of the stuff that we want to see before we also enable this and essentially deploy it is we do want to see a few more of these different DeFi Lego blocks within the Flare ecosystem built out, and a bit more on-chain liquidity as well. I think we're almost there when it comes to on-chain liquidity, which is fantastic. I mean, Flare's growth has just been absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, there's a couple of other DeFi Lego blocks we need to see first before it's really worthwhile for us to essentially enable this deployment.
So I got a question with that. That's a really cool aspect. So you could, again, this is not, obviously none of this is built, but in theory, like you could be like, yeah, I want a wide range, but you could check a box to say anything that's not trading inside the range or, being used, use elsewhere
Correct.
on your
Yes.
collateral.
So so different functionalities that can be built out. Yeah, that's one of the ones that I'm very passionate about. Is look, you're providing liquidity at full range as an example, which means you're taking a little bit less risk, a little bit less impermanent loss, which is fantastic. But then to make that capital more efficient and to essentially earn more revenue, you can take some of that. Maybe it's a ETH, USDC or USDT LP. Take some of that ETH, take some of that USDT that's out of range and isn't being put to work within that LP, and deposit it into a lending market such as Kinetic and generate a yield that way.
Yeah, another 2 or 3%. That's incredible. And like I said, that's awesome, especially for more basic users. That'll be incredible, man. That's exciting stuff.
Very nice. And then Spark, can you tell us a little bit about how the launch went? What have you noticed? What have you what have you seen from that launch? And then what are also your next plans for it?
Yeah, sure, I can jump in here. Then maybe Steve, you can add on anything that I missed out or certain stuff you're passionate about with the Spark launch. Look, I think the launch went absolutely fantastic. It was great to see the Flare ecosystem, really support us there, get behind us. Look, I don't want to speak too much about price-wise or anything like that, and do a plug Spark, not financial advice, and all that fun stuff, making that very clear. But it went fantastic. Price-wise, we are holding really strong, which is great to see. So essentially with the Spark token, we've enabled XSpark, which is where you can take that Spark and put it to work and earn some income. So essentially you can take your Spark, convert it to XSpark, stake it, and in return, you're going to earn a percentage of the overall platform's fees generated. What we're essentially trying to do is 50% of the fees that the platform generates, we buy up Spark and we burn it to help remove Spark out of circulation and make people's Spark essentially a bit more valuable. And 50% of the fees generated, we provide back to those who are staking it. Some of the other cool stuff that we have coming up as well will be, as I mentioned before, governance, where essentially the community is going to really be making some of these key decisions around what happens with the SparkDEX in general. And there is another cool thing that I'm looking forward to now. This is just an idea. This is something we're exploring on the back end. I'm not saying that this is going to happen, so take it with a grain of salt. Just something at the moment I'm excited to explore. But maybe we can do some stuff where you can take your Spark and also stake it into what we would call a safety module. Very similar to what essentially Aave does. With the Aave token, you can take your Aave, and you would earn a percentage of yield. It's being generated by putting the Spark token to work by insuring perhaps certain products, where blue chip, other blue chip projects within the Flare ecosystem, maybe outside the Flare ecosystem. Again, we're still brainstorming and thinking about this idea. But yeah, we can essentially use that Spark as collateral and ensure and earn a completely different source of revenue by also providing more value to the space in general. Steve, anything else that you wanted to add?
Yes, we're burning like hell. Spark token out of Yeah, the dashboard shows already. We have already burned, I think, around 6.6% of the supply. So it's crazy.
That's absolutely nuts. That's crazy.
I got a few questions I compiled up as we're kind of going through it. So I'm gonna, if you guys don't mind, like to kind of touch back over those. Unless, well, you got any more kind of part of our kind of chat before I go through that?
No, go ahead.
Awesome. So let me see here. It is, again, just for clarity, because I know Flamex has like a delay. Is there any kind of delay in entering or exiting those pools when you're getting to be a part of the perps, like when you're providing collateral for perps?
I didn't get the question fully. Can you repeat the question? That I understand.
So, so in Flamix, when I provide collateral to Flamix, there's a cooldown period before I can withdraw my funds. I don't, again, you guys just relaunched, so I haven't got a chance to study the new launch. But when you add collateral or withdraw collateral from that perpetual pool, is there a cooldown period before you get your money out?
No, the only thing we have in the system is when you want to remove liquidity and the PNL is positive, your share of the PNL will be deducted from your withdrawal. So that's this tax when you see this tax. Entering is the same. When you deposit into a negative PNL, you get this deducted because you will enter a already negative state of the PNL. And when withdrawing and the PNL is positive, this 0.1, 0.2 percentage of your share will be deducted, as it will be unfair before somebody closes a profitable trade to withdraw your liquidity. Otherwise, there's around 10 seconds, then you have your money on your account. So,
Correct me
Gotcha.
if I'm wrong, Steve, though, the only time there may be a slight delay, and this wouldn't happen often, is if the entire pool, so all the collateral is being used in a trade, right? Then you would have to wait for that trader or traders to close their positions.
actually, the limits don't allow to fully utilize the pool. But if one day the pool is enabled that all the collateral can be used as counterpart, yes, open position will block withdrawals. No cooldown period, so the collateral is already borrowed to other people. So it's like on, I
Like
think,
a lending market.
yeah, like lending market. So, but actually, it's not the case. So it's not fully utilized. So.
Yeah, I like this system much more than having to deposit my funds and then being able to use them. Like I really like that I can just open a trade, close a trade, and then the funds go back to my wallet instead of having to deposit into the perpetual system and then wait for the withdrawal. So that's great that you guys have it this way.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, thank you. Like I said, I'm still trying to, like I said, there's variations. I'm still trying to learn, especially since you guys have just kind of relaunched yours, understand kind of what the variations are and the pluses and minuses of each style. Like I always think of like it's Burger King, McDonald's. There's just variations and mix ups, and it's good to understand that. So there's the collateral is also used for the leverage. Is that the same for your guys's, or is it just to play the counterparty risk?
Actually, when you open a trade and you enter a leverage position, let's say I deposit 100,000 Wrap Flare as collateral and I want to open a 1 million Flare position, then 900,000 Wrap Flare are borrowed from the pool for your position. So the LP 900K are used as, borrowed from the pool. Um, in this case, it's active. It's still in one system, so it's not in his wallet or in your wallet. It's in the system. It's blocked for this trade. And with the PNL, it's, let's say, it's a positive trade or negative trade. His collateral level decrease or increase, and yours also. So your deposit, so your initial. But generally, the longs and shorts should cover each other. So the pool is only as like intermediate counterpart. So.
Gotcha. And I also noticed that you have some other options on there. Any idea when we might see some of those pop up on the perps trading, the forex, the index, and the commodities?
Yes, we are limited to the FTSO, and actually FTSO only provides crypto feeds.
Okay, so until the FTSO can add those fees, we won't see those just yet, but definitely something to be seeing in the future. Super exciting.
I'm pushing Flare to add some commodities, but I'm
Yes.
pushing them. Trust me, Alexi sees in the chat. I always ask when.
My man. That's awesome. I just want to I didn't realize you guys launched an FTSO, so congratulations on that. And I'll definitely be looking to deposit some into that as well. So congratulations, guys.
Thanks, really appreciate it. Yeah, Steve and the dev team have been absolutely incredible and hard at work on that. So all props goes to them.
Awesome.
Also, we have now the F-Assets Swap bridge inside our SparkDEX UI. So when you're heading to the bridge, you have this simple Stargate bridge, which you can simply bridge some stables or wrap Ethereum to another chain. But the F-Assets F-Swap bridge is very interesting because Hopefully, end of this week or beginning of next week, we will enable, beside XRPL and chain, also some major EVM chains like Arbitrum, Ethereum mainnet, Optimism, BNB chain, where you can simply bridge between XRPL and, let's say, Arbitrum. You can buy with your XRP Ethereum on Arbitrum, for example, which will utilize F-Assets in the middle. So it will bridge mint FXRP, sell them to USDTs, bridge them over to Arbitrum, and buy for you your Ethereum to your EVM wallet directly. So you don't need to make multiple steps. This F-Assets bridge will handle everything in one go for you. This will be like the first omni-chain F-swap bridge for utilizing F-Assets. I think that's one of the utilities Hugo and Flare wanted for FXRP to be like the bridge between non-EVM chain and EVM chains.
Oh, that's amazing. So if I have XRP on the XRP ledger and I want to have USDC on Arbitrum, I can just do the swap and then it goes F-Assets and then it converts to USDC and then it bridges to Arbitrum, everything on the back end?
Yes, correct.
Oh, that's amazing. That's incredible. I really like
How long
this.
does that bridge take?
Depending on the source or the destination chain, the rules are different, but generally under 1-2 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Think how
great.
long that bridge actually takes somebody to do by hand. Holy crap.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be the
up to
same.
20.
It's just one click instead of having to switch from different like platforms and then finding a swapping route on the Arbitrum. You just click once and you get it all. That's amazing.
Correct.
Oh, that's
And
very
I-
nice.
You
and I
only
can't-
you need to handle the initial transaction, and the backend and layer 0 with us will handle the rest for you. And it's a trusted execution environment, so nobody have control over your funds. It's simply going through smart contracts which are audited, and nothing can intervene between. Your rules are your rules.
What about fees on that? Like, again, I'll ask because I remember Bifrost created a really nice inside the wallet. You could do swapping, but then if you didn't notice, the fees were super expensive to handle to do it. Uh, did y'all take the very nominal fee approach as well with this?
Actually, we will not charge any fees, no front end fee, no service fees. The bridging fees and the swap price impact is something we cannot
Right.
stuff we can do, yes, but generally we are simply using the price of Stargate or layer 0, which asking for the bridge process and the initial gas process, for example. So it's very, very low, let's say this way. So when you ever tried Stargate or layer 0 to bridge from Flare to Arbitrum, you will see it costs you 5-6 Flare. That's something around this which will be deducted from your end result. So
No
Oh,
front end fees or any additional fees from us.
anyways, you will pay these fees when you're making your manually. So
you guys are running a business. You got to charge for something so nice.
let's be calling this. We have this discussion also with Flare, and I say we are not in this phase to monetize at the moment. So we need to first grow and grow Flare, and then we can speak about monetization of this happening. So because people when they see fees, they don't realize that fees needs to be charged as is a business. But in the end, first let the people understand the benefits of this product until you start charging 0.1% or something like this.
Gotcha. Yep. Build up the pipeline. And then as long as the fee's nominal, nobody really notices anyways, and convenience overrides everything else.
Yes.
Is this the minimum receive or is this how much I'm receiving? Because I'm comparing to Stargate and in Stargate it shows that I would get a little bit more than this.
That's the minimum receive.
Okay, cool. So I'll probably get a
nice
little
to
bit
know.
more.
When you're going to Stargate, you have also minimum receives. They receive when you're executing the bridge. They will also show what you will get minimal back, but normally it's what you see in the quote.
Yeah, so if I go here 1,000, it says 999, and then here it says, where is it? Arbitrum 996. So I wonder if that's a little different.
No, it's the minimum receive. Let me say my devs that they fixed this. Yes, you're right. It's showing the minimum receive as the receive. Yes.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Good to know. Awesome, guys. Well, I mean, I'm super glad that you're building this DeFi hub and like making it more useful every day. I'm pretty stoked that you guys are in Flare and that you're building this because it's making my life easier every day.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, guys. Have a great week. And yeah, let's chat soon. I will send you the video when it's ready. And then, yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Great work.
Have a great
Take care.
week, guys. Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye bye.